This topic is on how overthinking can impact our lives. Take a deep breath, sit down, and just breathe. Slow, deep breaths, clearing all thoughts from one's mind, making one's mind a mindful mind, not a mind that is full, as in full of thoughts coming in and out, no room to breathe, to get peace almost from thoughts. And honestly, when we work towards allowing ourselves to pause for a moment or two at intervals throughout the day, it helps us not to overthink. And when overthinking does happen, how is this bad? How is this impactful in our lives, you ask? Well, it can mean that a holiday, a purchase of an item doesn't happen because the price of what you want goes up and up and up during the time you're thinking, shall I buy it? Shall I go for it? When you know in yourself that it is a good price. However, what stops that action from being completed is fear, is doubt, is extra concerns that one just can't get over. And those things need to be worked on so that you don't lose out on things that you actually want because the price isn't right in the end, because situations flip and what you once could do and go for changes. And the way in which to avoid overthinking is to make a list. What are the pros? What are the cons? How much money do I need to do this project? Whatever it is. And you just write. And then you know in your heart you've got that much money saved. Everyone can do it. And good on you. Nothing in this world is unobtainable. Everyone can afford the most designer clothing, the most designer bags, messenger bag, handbag. It is really about how we go about putting a bit of money aside. So each month, each week, putting a small amount aside for a rainy day, for a particular thing that we want. And though it varies how much time it can take a person to obtain something, it doesn't mean that it's unobtainable. Really doesn't. And what it means is that you can save money. You don't have to spend every cent going out. You don't have to spend every cent on things that are not needed. In terms of like extra spending on a cup of coffee, which you could make at home. You know, from a coffee jug, or using coffee instant packets, whatever it is, coffee granules. And it won't cost you that much to make, because you have bought a big bottle of coffee, or grounded beans and percolators. And is it that hard to not purchase that coffee, but to make it at home? No, it's not. And it's little changes like that that help us to save where we can. It's mindset and that sense of, I can spend on XYZ, but I'm choosing to put that money aside for a bigger item that I want, a designer top, designer trousers, whatever it is, or holiday. It is doable, and you do get good deals out there, and without overthinking anything, we can move forward. Overthinking impairs the action from happening. It impairs the flow of energy. It impairs the power of now, because when we overthink, we're thinking, oh God, what if in the future I don't have money? What if in the future I am lost? I regret this decision. So many things can come up like that, and it's not nice, say, if it affects others around you who are friends, family, wanting to do something with you that is nice, which you've said, oh, we should do that one day, then you've agreed, and then you change your mind, going back and forth actually means maybe you shouldn't, or you work through, and where you can see what you want, just do it. Especially if you find yourself saying yes, and it's very automatic. It's not in keeping with fears or anything like that. Your soul is talking, because the soul knows you can do what you set out to do, and money in all ways than you can imagine. And honestly, when it comes to simpler things also, like which hand cream should I use? You know, if you have a big range of hand creams, well, depending on what you're doing at that moment, which should be, I'm thinking, okay, I've got these hand creams, which one do I want to use? I would say take a moment to pause and just reflect. I choose to use the hand cream that is not the most expensive hand cream I own, especially if I'm going to be washing my hands soon after. I would keep my most expensive cream for my hands, for example, for when I'm going out, for when my hands can enjoy the cream and the cream stays on my hands more so. being, so they're moistured. So at night, last thing at night, you can put cream on your hands, for example. In the daytime, you can use a middle-priced cream, which is not so expensive, but a good quality cream. And the solutions keep coming, with the overthinking element dwindles away. And we can be masters of how and what we do that easily without spending so much time in overthinking. Thinking, am I doing this right? Am I bringing up my child right even? You can always improve. Treat a person with respect. Treat a child, from a child to a old-aged, physically, older generation person. You can treat them well. And you don't have to feed to anyone's ego or anything, or to overthink, how can I say this to them? You say it in a manner that is hurt anyone's feelings. So instead of overthinking in your head so much, going round and round, maybe you should let it either say, does it need to be said? Do I need to let it go? Or can I say this in a manner that is very light-hearted? And yes, everything can be said really light-hearted. And remember that whatever we say, and if you keep overthinking it in your mind before you say it, it defeats the purpose, because your mind has created a whole new scenario over and over again. And that scenario disappears in a mess of thought, because there's no clear thought function in terms of A to B. What is my intention? What is the action going to be? And how can that be fulfilled smoothly? So, overthinking anything either means, if it just affects you, the thinker, I won't do this now, I'm not ready, or I am ready to do this, I have these concerns, but I'm going to do it anyway because I know I'll be fine. These are the things we need to focus on and work on and feel confident in doing that. And this can be done by strengthening the chakras within us, which effectively in the Hindu culture, and in spiritualism, these areas of energy within the human body help us to create ourselves in the physical world to be better. So, for example, the base chakra, that is where we should be getting rid of fears and everything, and so is the one just above it, the sacral chakra, and solar plex. These chakras work on getting rid of the awakened. It helps us to move forward because our confidence builds. Everything is made to be more divine. And then when our heart chakra is awakened, more so than already, that is done through giving, through understanding, through receiving also, the continuous flow. And the throat chakra, saying what we feel without offending people, without being rude, without, expressing what you want to say, but learning the techniques in how best to do so without overthinking it through. And then the third eye chakra, which is the all-knowing chakra, and as well as the crown chakra, that helps keep us young. Yeah, it matters a lot as to how we live, as to how we grow our lives. And we can do everything. And for more information on chakras, please look at the link below. And enjoy learning. Bye for now. Hope to hear you tune in again soon. This is Achinta B signing off.